because I don't know the exact details.
He held a banquet for the Indian ambassador and others.
See, what happens is, it's a conscious death.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, entirely.
What happens is that at the time of death of an unenlightened, the pranic energy has to move the soul outside, because there's a separation between the individual and the universe. The time and space concept is that. Okay, that's an unenlightened case. Now there's a gradual enlightenment, liberation, which I spoke just now. It's called Krama Mukti. The soul is still feels a separation from existence. It's connected deeply, but separation is there. So that means there's a concept of time and space, as travel is involved. For travel, you need pranic energy. Okay. So whereas in case of Paramahansa Yogananda, the enlightenment means time and space. You have gone beyond time and space in that place, in that body. So there's no more travel now.
There's nowhere to go.
No more to go. So then what happens to prana? The fuel in the space in the spinal cord only. The fuel will be moving in the spinal cord only, because it is not going anywhere. It is there in the spinal cord only. It will stay there until it gets gradually leaks and dies. Till it is there in the spinal cord, the body will not decay for several days, because prana has nowhere to go.
It's called incorruptibility.
Incorruptibly. Okay. So such a person, such a saint's body is, instead of burning it, they bury it. The reason is simple. That body, the prana has got absorbed in the body. The consciousness has merged with the infinite in that body. Nowhere to go. Where to go? That's what happened in case of Paramahansa Yogananda. Paramahansa Yogananda.
Yes. Ramana Maharshi. Similar.
After enlightenment, the soul has nowhere to go. The body.
Just one.
So the prana actually exists at various vibration levels. It's an energy. At the higher vibration level, it's closer to the cosmic consciousness. And that operates at the cortex. Neocortex.
But there is prana in every loka.
Yes.
And the prana quality is different in every loka.
Now,
so that you can, I'm told by one of my ex-students, who's a brilliant, brilliant man, you can absorb the prana from the highest loka or from wherever. And if people just do pranayama here, you get a bit of prana.
Okay.
But ideally, you reach to the highest lokas to absorb the...
See, this concept of loka you have to understand. Loka is not physical space.
No, understood.
Right? Loka is a subtle region.
Yes.
Okay. So now the energy can be in 7 chakras. Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Adna, Sahasrara. Okay. So typically, most of the people, it will be the lower circle, lower chakra. The quality of energy which comes from, for them, most of them, from the breathing and food. That is, it's like equivalent of fuel, right? For a vehicle, car, you get a petrol. For an aircraft, you need a higher grade of fuel. So that higher grade of fuel, where do you get from? For the higher transformation. So that comes from the sexual fluids. One way. Sexual fluid is giving new life. Retas. Okay, that fluid gets transformed into a neural energy in some cases in yogis. That's why they insist on brahmacharya, following of the celibacy. Of course, all those follow celibacy won't read that, but some people are, the celibacy is a trigger condition for that life-giving force to
rise.
So now it's like a rocket. Understand? For rocket, you need a certain grade of fuel to escape from the gravity, and beyond it will flow. So the question is, how do you escape from these 3 chakras and go up?
Well, this is Hatha Yoga.
It's a forceful way. Okay. The other way is grace.
Yes.
Shakti.
Yes.
Okay. The master has some extra energy, he'll give some spare. Take it.
Oh, it comes.
Just lifts. Okay. So then your system will move. That's called Shakti Path. So now, when you say somebody is able to absorb energy from the higher chakras, higher lokas, that means he has to go there early. Which means for each, he has to have initial booster. Understand? Unless you go to that loka consciousness, you can't get that.
Yes.
So it's the other way. So go to the higher level loka. Where did you get the booster from?
Guru.
Guru, celibacy, and yoga. After that, after you cross the gravitation force, you can do anything.
Even from bandhas.
Yeah. Mulabandha. Mulabandha,
All
Janandra
three.
Bandha.
Yes. She was teaching them to the class. We had been asked to teach a class on pranayama and bandhas, and I knew that I hadn't been taught these things. We did other things. So she taught a beautiful class on these things.
In Ujre.
Yes.
Good.
I was hugely grateful to her
It's
for
a
that.
straight for Kundalini awakening.
Yes. This was what she was explaining.
Yeah.
Magnificent lecture.
That is, I don't know whether you have read one by one person, Gopi Krishna.
Gopi Krishna.
Huh.
No.
Gopi Krishna is actually one enlightened person from Kashmir area.
Kashmir?
Kashmir.
Mm.
Okay. He was there from I think around 1970s to 1990 or so. I mean that period when he's this thing. He writes.
He's Kashmiri Shavist.
No, it's not Kashmir. He went through yoga process.
All right.
All this Kundalini and all, Hatha Yoga. So his energy transformation he explains very beautifully in his and he went through a very tough phases because some diseases karmic diseases got triggered and all, and suddenly he started speaking in multiple languages because nervous system.
Like St. Peter and so yes.
Saint Peter,
Yeah.
right? His nervous system got bloomed, and that sexual energy moved up with the spinal cord and started flowering. And he has a lot of actually books he has written.
Gopi Krishna.
Gopi Krishna. His name is Gopi Krishna, Pandit Gopi Krishna. His writing is one of the awakening of Kundalini and its effect on the nervous system. But of course, people who read it get scared because it will affect he falls into disease and all those things, all karmic impressions. But otherwise, he gives a genuine transformation of nervous system because of the Kundalini energy. And for me, it was the Kundalini energy which rose naturally,
Yes.
suddenly, and it happened because of the 12 years of yoga practice I did in childhood.
Childhood. From age
From the age of
6.
8
Wow.
8 up to the engineering. Every day.
Wow.
I didn't know all this Kundalini, I didn't know enlightenment, I did only yoga.
You did asanas, pranayama?
Asana, pranayama, dhyana, dharana,
All
this.
right.
Yeah.
The whole gamut.
Whole gamut. Without knowing what we need.
Was it from memory?
No. From my teacher.
I took my student I mentioned, who I met Yogacharini last night. I took him to meet a yoga master called
Astrologer.
Natya master called Padmaja.
What?
Natya, dance,
Dance master.
called Padmaja.
Padmaja.
And he looked at her Kundali, because he's a very advanced astrologer. And he said to her, "But you were born enlightened." And she looked a little embarrassed. Then she said, "Yes," she said, "it's true. When I was 2.5 or 3 years old, all the mudras came back to me.
Okay.
You know how complicated in Natya Shastra the mudras are? Extremely complicated. They all came back to me. I didn't have to learn them."
Actually, when I started yoga,
Yes?
where nobody in my family knew.
You mean that nobody was there to
no surrounding environment of yoga.
Yes.
I looked at a picture of a yogi sitting in that lotus posture, and I used to sit in lotus posture. That was attracted me. Then I found one teacher, one master, after 3 years, and he started teaching me all the asanas. I got naturally, easily. And all this, most of the whatever I am speaking right now, it didn't come from books actually. It's all understanding. It came opened up.
Oh, that was quite clear from the way you were speaking. You were just speaking it out.
Just all the stages of enlightenment, all the experience which I was going through.
It's the most beautiful description I've heard since I've heard Maharishi Mahesh Yogi talk about it. He talked about it completely from the inside.
I actually completely, my whole spiritual journey, okay, I started understanding everything after Kundalini awakening. And then I started understanding, oh my God, all universe is one, all this is energy, all those things I understood. It's all intuitive understanding, straight away. It's experience, straight.
Yes.
So then there was this thing.
So then
Ah.
you read the Shastras.
I
But
read-
they merely confirmed what you already knew.
Obviously. I was trying to understand a framework. What the
Yes.
hell is happening? Actually, first thing I thought if something has happened to my brain. I got gone case. Okay, but it's a sudden surge of energy, and I thought I went to a neurosurgeon to understand what's happening. Okay, because I was afraid. I was what's happening? Okay,
Yes, absolutely.
because I didn't know. Whole consciousness shifted. So I started feeling oneness everywhere.
But some people, some neurosurgeons and psychiatrists think that the sakshi is a pathological state.
Ah.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel withdrawn from the world. Oh, that's terrible. Here's some pills.
Almost psychiatric states are some states of consciousness that
Yes.
Guru
So
can help.
actually, I started.
If you describe witnessing sleep, they would think you were mad.
What happened is one day I was just meditating my this thing, and suddenly energy started rushing, and I opened my eyes and everything is oneness actually. I'm feeling oneness consciousness, and I started crying. My whole body started
Yeah.
this thing. I didn't know what is happening. Okay, and I suddenly my shift in consciousness shift from individual to universal. Okay, I'm looking no longer looking at the world from an individual point of view. I'm looking world from a universal point of view. Ego was there. Okay, but it's a beautiful ego. Now ego is no longer feeling isolated from everybody. Ego is feeling connected to everybody, very deeply connected. And I thought, then something was happening. I read Gopi Krishna's book. He's saying a lot of he went through a lot of trouble and all. I thought I'm in for very big trouble now. Then I went to a neurologist to check up. Then that time no this thing scanner or either she would put me through some scanner or something. He said just check up here and all. Okay, you're all right. You prescribe some ordinary medicine and said you are all right. You go. But then consciousness kept on this thing. Anything which I feel I connected.
How old were you?
I was 27. Okay, so I was born in 1962. This was 1989. So everything is connected. My perspective is looking at the world from individual, it had shifted to universal.
Yeah.
Okay, individual, no longer individual perspective is possible. Very beautiful this thing, and now the real joy of spirituality, ecstasy, that this thing, all those things started. And if I hear any God's name, I'll start crying. The hair will stand like this. Like that. All this. So it went on for several years. Then I went into. Then one master taught me self-inquiry. Who am I? Then suddenly everything collapsed. Now it's all silence. So initially you are individual, then you feel connected through universal, through devotion, deep devotion, which happens at a neural level. Then you go beyond neural system when you enter into nervous system. Then you go beyond time and space. Nervous system is in time and space. Pure awareness. So that time you don't need nervous system. But this is up to that level.
Dvaita, just Advaita.
These are the. So I went through each of the stage very step by step, and I was also I come from a scientific background. I was a research
You're an
engineer.
engineer.
I am a research engineer. Research.
Yes.
So everything I want to understand every step very microscopically, what's happening, how it's happening, all those things like that. Then I wanted to make it a process to teach people so that you can also have it some fun.
Yes.
That's how these people came some fun.
This you can see these charts and all. He is
All right.
I try to
Yes,
write
yes.
this thing. So this is how it is.
They look quite similar to what you were teaching from.
all his teachings.
So it is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How are we doing for time?
Yeah, we can move.
Is it 11:30 yet?
No.
I think we'll have a little bit food here.
That's very good. Thank you.
Janaski, Prema. So I got it as an unexpected gift from the universe. So enjoyed it for several years. I thought I'll share with some people. Okay, you also can have some little bit like that.
Well, ultimately, universe has to use those evolved bodies to
Yes, absolutely, to spread it.
Jyot se Jyot jagat.
It took me quite some time to understand the framework of this whole thing happening. Why is happening and how is happening?
Of course.
It's all suddenly you're experiencing.
There's
You don't know.
nothing you learn in college which tells you about
Yeah,
this.
I was this. And of course,
But did you not receive some formal initiation from someone?
not for this.
Not for this.
This
No,
was because these are
it
the.
just happened through
It
your...
is because of yoga.
Yes.
12 years of yoga.
Yes.
Ripening.
But ಯಾರ ಹಿಮಾಲಯದಿಂದ ಬಂದು ಇದು
There was one master who came and told from this area. What do you call this? Hampi, Tungabhadra River.
Hampi, yes.
Yeah, one guy person came and taught me Kundalini Pranayam, meditation.
Aha.
But ultimately it is not because of that. Ultimately it is because of the yoga practice. The nervous system had become, all nadis had become purified. It was ready for fire. Sometime.
It's very inspiring.
Consciousness.
well he had many experiences even before that.
Actually, as a kid,
He can keep many stories
No,
for
no, no,
next
he
time.
yeah, this past life regression and all I was knowing as I was in 5th standard without nobody telling me. Going to past life, understanding what's happening in the past life.
You could remember it.
No, I could make other people go through, remember.
Oh, you could make other people.
And also I could remember my own.
Huh.
Some lifetimes, couple of lifetimes, important lifetimes.
Very good.
I find that. So,
He's a good actor.
Past life regression is extremely remarkable deep hypnosis technique too.
it doesn't require hypnosis.
Well, yes, maybe not.
It is not.
But it was done in psychiatry in the West first, in deep hypnosis. And I've met people here in Heba.
Buddha was
Oh,
Buddha, Mahavir. They were very good masters in that.
in giving other people the...
Because for taking anybody as disciple before that,
Yes.
he will review his past life. Like
Yes.
so actually
Guruji, ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ
this lady Smita she went through her past life before she become calm. So but that was because of breathing practice, pranic practice, not hypnosis. So Buddha before Buddha and Mahavir were very good masters in that. They made people go through karmic life to understand where you stand today, take a review, and after that they will give you.
It's the best way. Go back.
Huh? Future life ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, past life ಬೇಕು.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರ ಹತ್ರ
ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಬದುಕಬೇಕು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನು 150 ವರ್ಷ ಬದುಕಬೇಕು ನೀವು. And if you don't complete, you will have to Babaji.
Alex, what he is telling really ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ.
No, I have told her that you have a lot of work to do in teaching and popularizing yoga and
That she
enlightenment.
has.
She has enlightenment.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
For that, I have told her, threatened her. If you have to do it properly, and if you don't, your life will get expanded by 150 years. Okay. And if you can't do that, you have to live like Babaji, which is 2000 years. Still, you have to live and keep continue the work. She says, I don't want next birth. So you in this birth only, like, prolong your body. And she has fortune of studying yoga and pranayama and learning under you and all those things. So she will be fit for living for 150 years.
Learning under you.
150 years is okay, minimum.
I teach very mundane things here.
Huh?
I teach very mundane things. Very seldom do I get to teach Vedanta and serious yoga.
Yeah.
But I've been requested by a university in Northern Europe to go and teach a yoga class for their doctors over 130 hours in one semester.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that we can give them quite a lot of advanced understanding.
Basically, the future is going to be quantum physics and Vedanta and consciousness healing.
Yes, but to do consciousness, you have to go beyond quantum physics slightly. in a very delicate way.
Delicate.
Sometime I will show you a little bit about that.
Very nice.
This is my particular research field.
Because I don't understand quantum physics, I understand it's very closely related to what I'm speaking of. All this quantum vacuum and all those
Yes,
things.
Very
Only wish
good.
is, I only wish is that I can teach many people and transfer this wisdom to many people. That's what I'm trying to find a process by which we can do that.
Do you put these lectures onto Google Groups, or
Yeah,
do you put these?
actually I have a recording in many, every
YouTube?
Yeah, more than about 1,500 recordings.
1,000.
Yeah, more than 1,000 plus. So whatever I speak, these people keep recording.
Yes, that's
Then
wonderful.
that's what they do.
Maharshi did that for years and years and years.
I'm actually trying to put a framework to my understanding, because it's all then somebody
course,
need to
of
do
course.
this thing.
It develops in
Yeah,
steps.
it is same thing as happening to evolution. Okay, the life evolved in seawater, then fish, then some fish try to walk out of the
Yes.
sea and become amphibians. In the process,
Yes.
some died and somehow managed to become amphibians.
Yes.
Okay, like that in evolution also, some of the people are able to break through that evolution ceiling. Okay, now these people will become slightly sort of, this is what I say.
When you talked about rainbow consciousness, there was something actually that I didn't think of at the time. But they talk about the rainbow children
Yeah,
and the indigo
indigo.
and the crystal children.
That's actually the post 1980 generation.
Yes.
Okay, the brilliance.
Extraordinary numbers of very
Extraordinary.
highly evolved.
Because
souls.
see, what happens is that the frequency, the vibration frequency increases, then the children born are very brilliant. Now come here, this boy. Okay, how old is he? He is actually 11-year-old. Okay.
Yes, I guessed right.
Okay. Now he met me. He was in second standard, which is actually 8 years.
Yes.
Okay, I was talking in a public function on teaching Bhagavad Gita. About 200 people are there. Then in a public, if I throw a question, nobody will answer anyway. Normally,
Yes. Yes.
in Indian, don't even open their mouth. So I just put a question and kept quiet. This child was sitting in the last row. Okay, he got up, he stood up on the chair and answered my question.
Huh. Beautiful. What was the question?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. I was just caught my eyes that this child is able to sit and talk. And I had my sister's son. This person understands all my teachings. His parents are coming to the class, but the person who has understood is the child. These are the parents. Then he is the father and she is the mother.
Very
They have to bring the child when he is to second standard. He used to play around here, but he observed whatever I told. And these people are still struggling for next life. Then my sister's son was there. My sister's son, I think he's 7-year-old. Okay, he came. He's in America. He's settled in America. And he was playing, I was conducting class here, like this people are sitting, and I was trying to explain a lot of principles like this. And that child was playing ball, okay? No, not here, he's in America. Now he's in 12th standard. 7-year-old. The ball used to fall, and ball used to come here, okay? So then he picks up the ball and goes. Then one question I asked, and the boy who was sitting there answering, I got surprised. And I called him. Then whatever I have told, these people have not understood. That person has understood. And he was throwing the ball intentionally to come and listen to me and go. And there was something for him. They're throwing the ball, and by the time what I speak, he has understood. Okay, so these are all the higher frequency children.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Possibly easier to learn when you have the heart of a child.
Simple.
Thank you.
Provided you have the karmic impressions. The
Oh,
momentum
the-
is required. Momentum is required. By birth, momentum is required.
Yes, yes.
It won't come by just like that. No. They are called indigo children's, rainbow children's, all those things.
Yes, yes.
And there are many of them.
Many.
I have come across many.
I visited a friend in South Los Angeles. I think it was either that or southwest Los Angeles. And he said to me, "Oh, my daughter's giving the valedictory for her middle school."
Middle school.
But he said, "We've looked at what her talk that she's written. Her teachers are not going to understand what she's talking about."
So,
Just such.
ultimately, brain is nothing but a quantum computer. It collapses the quantum field into a physical world. So now this quantum computer, something happens to the quantum computer, the world appears very different. Instead, it collapses the quantum states.
When you talked about Pashanti, it's as if at the Pashanti level you understand all ideas and then you unwind them into speech, through words into speech.
Yes.
Only if you can connect on the Pashanti level, you can just pick up the ideas
Yes.
from the other person.
Correct.
And
Intuitive.
we have a conference coming up at Nimhans on music, cognition and consciousness. And I have to chair a session. And I'm intending to tell a story about the famous Western musician Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Mozart.
Mozart. Amadeus means love of God. Amadeus. And he divine love. He had the experience. He said, when I write a symphony, the whole thing comes to me like a ball of string. Everything. I know everything about it. And my job is just to unwind it. And to turn it from quantum information into ordinary information. But this is Pashanti, as I understand it, Pashanti coming out to Vaikari.
Right. That actually became this thing, what is that? Samaveda.
Samaveda.
Musical.
Yes, yes.
Right. There are actually many of them musical genius, like what the poetry she told about that one person, Purandarasa, 16th century. All those things came. It is
I heard from one of my students who was part of the, what's it called, the Santana Mariga. She came from Calcutta. That in that tradition they say that Lord Shiva invented the swaras, discovered the swaras, by listening to the songs of birds. I think that's so beautiful. You listen to bird song, right? Can you detect the swaras in the bird song? But this was how Lord Shiva developed the musical scale. It's such a...
Basically, all of what we are speaking ultimately is a consciousness evolution.
Yes.
What is the next level of evolution of human beings? Okay, is human being evolution stopped with the science and technology as an expression of evolution, or is there a potential for human beings to evolve into the next level? That evolutionary potential is there. That has come in the form of neocortex. Now, when this gets activated, a lot more understanding of the universe will happen, and that human beings will be a next level of human beings. And that's not the end of it. And then they go beyond nervous system and become one with the consciousness. So they are what I call God consciousness and unity.
That is Sat Yuga. Is that Sat Yuga?
Yeah.
At the minute we're stuck with a gap between physics and metaphysics.
Yeah.
My Jyotishi student, Jyotish, my student,
Ah.
Ramesh Rao,
Mm.
he says from my Kundali that my Dharma is to develop the physics of metaphysics.
Physics.
The physics of metaphysics.
That's what you're doing.
This is what I'm working
They are working
on.
on. Yeah. Very clear.
The physics of life,
Yes.
the physics of consciousness, the physics of enlightenment,
Physics of enlightenment.
the physics of health.
Yes.
That's easier.
They're all related.
All related. Yeah.
It's a holistic view.
Yeah.
We are fragmented, you're taking a fragment view of life.
Yes.
That's what dangerous.
All this reductionism has to become
Holistic view of life.
holistic.
That's what I want.
Good, let's do it.
Yeah. It's a very different way of looking life.
I explain to the students in these mind-body medicine classes that what controls a cell has to integrate all functions. You have to be able to turn every gene on and every gene off. Even from the brain, you have to be able to act on every function. So control from the brain.
Biology of
It
belief.
has to integrate, the regulation has to bring together every function. It has to control every function. And then when you look at the actual detailed mechanics, it has to optimize function. It has to optimize regulation. This is health. Optimal function. It's health.
Genes are nothing but encoded information.
Yeah.
It's a memory system.
But they're static.
They're static. This is actually what we call as prarabdha karma, borrowed karma. Starting
Prarabdha karma.
Karma. Karma is impression.
Yes, of course.
Karmic
But did you say
impression.
prarabdha karma or no?
Yeah, prarabdha karma.
Yes.
The impressions.
Yeah.
Okay, full pool of impressions. Then out of that small pool of impression you take, and that becomes your genes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what you keep activating in your life. Now, whether you can modify the genes, you can. Whether you can consciously change them, yes.
There's another level. It's the genetic expression. It's not called genetics, it's called epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
Now the epigenetics you can change.
Change it.
Consciously.
Yes.
Now, if you have a gene which doesn't work, this has the same effect as a gene which is turned off.
Correct.
Okay? Now, a gene may not work, but you can convert a gene which is switched off from a gene to which is switched on.
Switched on.
So, any disease which is caused by epigenetics can be cured,
Clear.
in principle. This is engineering.
Yes. So the consciousness is the frontier for human evolution, biology,
Yes,
medicine.
absolutely.
Also, all great discoveries came from consciousness.
Of course.
ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಂಟರ್ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಂಟರ್ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ತಾನ दोन प्रिंटर पडे
Yeah.
मग
ಕಡೆ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ.
ಅದು ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಇದೆ ಮಕ್ಕು